Hello, hello. Mel here in Myanmar. Sorry I volunteered and now I'm backing out of waking up at midnight to guide the discussion. But I still wanted to share some about concentration, about wise concentration, just some thoughts. So concentration is a translation of the word samadhi, and as I understand it more and more through practice, I'm like, concentration is just not the right word. Like in English, for me, it has this furrowed brow feeling, like you're pushing or like there's tension. You concentrate, put in strong effort, and there's a forcefulness to my idea of concentration. But in practice, in experience, samadhi is kind of like the opposite of that, of over efforting and of pushing and of trying really hard to do something and get it right. There's in trying to develop samadhi, or trying to develop a steadiness of mind and a unification of mind on the meditation object. But for that to happen, there's rather than this kind of grabbing at something, concentrating and making it happen, it really happens naturally when we're letting go, when we're in a state of relaxing into the breath, if we're using the breath as the object, just relaxing the body and relaxing the mind, and then letting go of all the thoughts and stories and everything else that habitually pops out of the mind. Letting go of any other physical sensations, letting go of the stories of our lives and of the world, the eight worldly winds, our stories of gain and loss, and pleasure and pain, and praise and blame, and fame and disrepute. Just letting go of all those things, letting go of the five hindrances. Letting go of greed and aversion, letting go of sloth and torpor, sleepiness, letting go of restlessness and worry, and letting go of doubt, and just trusting in the moment, what's actually happening, just the mind knowing the breath, the mind settling into the breath. Just being able to let go, to really rest in that presence with the breath, with contentment, total contentment, not trying to do something, not trying to get anywhere, but just being content with the breath, being content right here, right now, being happy and being safe in that, in the moment, from the letting go of everything else. Through that contentment, through that happiness, concentration develops naturally. And there's really specific things. There's a number of sutas that describe what Samadhi is, what this wise concentration is. And it's something that I didn't encounter very much in retreats with Western teachers, actually. And it's really, the Sutas are really specific about saying that right concentration is the jhanas. They're these states called the jhanas. They're like often translated as the absorptions, like the mind becomes completely absorbed in the meditation object. So like in the breath, if you're using the breath, like as mindfulness becomes continuous and the letting go, like really letting go into the breath, just like diving in, and everything else falls away. There's no more sensations in the body, there's no more sound, there's no more thoughts, or there's very minimal thoughts. And as the concentration gets deeper, the mind becomes very powerful. So like in the Buddha's story of his awakening, the night of his complete liberation, he says he entered the jhanas. He went into the first through the fourth jhana, and from the fourth jhana, from the power of the fourth jhana, he was able to discern his past lives. And in the first watch of the night, and then in the second watch of the night, he discerned beings arising and passing throughout samsara. And then in the third watch of the night, he discerned the truth of dependent origination. These steps, 12 steps that start with the root ignorance and that lead all the way through the next round of rebirth. And all of these things are actually things that people today are able to discern and practice. At the monastery where I practice, all the advanced meditators who've mastered the jhanas, the four jhanas, are able to witness their past lives and discern beings both in the human realm and other realms, and the truth of dependent origination. And so so what? The liberating insights come from concentration, the culmination of the path. It's linear and non-linear. These eightfold noble path. Like the more concentration develops, the more purified one's view becomes, and you start. You can say you started over, but maybe think of it as a spiral, like continually spiraling upwards until perfect wisdom and clarity has been developed. And it's possible for you, and it's possible for me. And the Buddha said, if it weren't possible, I wouldn't tell you to do so. And he also commonly said, Ehipassiko, come and see for yourself. So developing concentration is really important and really wonderful, and blessings to all of you and your practice and your loved ones, and I hope to practice with you in the future. I'll see you all probably online in August when I get back to California. Much, much, much love.